Designing Effective Digital Badge Programs for Career Pathways. Welcome, my name is Krisha Moeller and I'm an adjunct professor for the Learning Design and Technology program at San Diego State University. I'm also a doctoral student with the Educational Technology program at Boise State University. Today I'm going to be presenting on the topic of best practices for integrating digital badges to support career pathways for students. This session will start with an introduction to open badges for those of you unfamiliar with them. Then we will cover some digital badging theories and best practices for integration with career pathways, followed by some use cases and some examples of badge technologies that you can use to start your own digital badge program. On a side note, you can actually earn a digital badge for attending today's session. This badge can be earned by completing a mini online quiz following this presentation. I find it super easy to earn this badge, but just in case, I've attached a handout with all the questions from the quiz to help you prepare. You can find this handout by going to the link listed on this slide here, or by using the QR code below. Earning this badge is optional for this session, but it's a nice way to show off what you've learned to others. So, let's get started. Let's first talk a bit about the history of badges. Who uses them and what were they used for? A number of organizations, including the Girl Scouts, the Boy Scouts, and the military, have historically utilized badges as a means for motivating their community members to take action and for their community members to showcase their skills, abilities, and accomplishments. However, the significance of these badges remained most prominent within the domain of these relatively closed communities. So let's fast forward to today. The face of education and the workforce, as well as the bridge between these two domains, is changing. To quote Senior Vice President of People Operations at Google, Laszlo Bock, GPAs are worthless as a criteria for hiring and test scores are worthless. Your ability to perform at Google is completely unrelated to how you perform when you were in school because the skills you acquired in college are very different. This statement reflects how industries are starting to change how they view student qualifications. So this brings us to the story behind digital badges. Digital badges are online micro-certifications that learners receive by proving their skills, abilities, or mastery through a set of planned significant accomplishments. These accomplishments can include anything from hands-on tasks, like projects, to more formal exams. Badges can be shared on online portfolios or digital backpacks and via websites and social media. Learners can use these badges as evidence of their skills and abilities in specific domains that employers actually care about. So, what's the difference between open badges and other types of digital badges? Open badges are standardized. Open badges use the same technical format or structure, which makes them easy to transfer around on sites around the world. Open badges are free. The technology used for open badges is open source or free. This allows developers to use these badges in countless projects for no cost. Open badges are preservable. Because they are standardized, open badges can be collected or stored on numerous websites for safekeeping, like Badger Backpack. Open badges are powered by the Open Badges standard. This means they contain metadata that allows users to track the origin of a specific badge, thus making them difficult to duplicate or fake. This data also allows potential employers to review what the badge really means. This information answers questions like, what skills does the badge represent? Who is the badge issuer? What was the criteria and evidence for issuing this badge? And so forth. Now, I'm going to take a moment to talk about digital badging theories. I've been working on my doctorate in educational technology through Boise State, and during that time, I've had the opportunity to review a wide range of studies on the topic of digital badges. And from this literature, I have found what I would call three of the most commonly researched theories about digital badges. These theories relate to how digital badges help to facilitate learning pathways, how they can support personalized learning or learner voice and choice, and digital badges' impact on learner engagement or motivation. To start with, research has shown that digital badges can be implemented to improve learner resilience and motivation in learning pathways. Teachers needing to design predefined learning pathways for students can use badges to help chunk or scaffold instructional content and to encourage learners through each topic or learning stage or level. Badge modules can culminate into larger badges or certifications. This is a good option for times when a specific learning pathway, like a CTE pathway, requires a lot of time or may be particularly challenging for students, and you still need to motivate the students to see the program through. In fact, using digital badges or achievements in this way is a common practice in many video games. For example, this is how achievements are scaffolded in a popular online game, Elder Scrolls Online. This is the series of achievements in crafting that a player must accomplish in order to obtain the culminative achievement, the ability to wear a title called Grand Master Crafter. Notice the number of smaller scaffolded titles that must be earned before one can be awarded the culminative achievement. Additionally, digital badges can be used to personalize learning. Digital badges can facilitate the creation of badge libraries, where students can select from various learning modules that suit their unique interests and needs. The downside is that preparing such a learning library requires either a lot of prep work or collaboration among many educators willing to share their modules. However, the advantages of building such a personal choice library of instructional options for students can be great. Let's take a look at a case example. Raul loves anime and he is taking an animation class. However, the teacher provides few examples that are relevant to the type of animation that Raul is interested in. As a result, he is having trouble following along and being engaged. The teacher is also spending a lot of time assisting one student in the group who has a lot of questions. If the teachers at Raul's school created or shared a variety of online instructional modules with their students, Raul could choose a series of learning modules on animation that better match his interests in anime or that better suit his learning style. This also frees up the teacher with more time to focus on the students who require more one-on-one or extra support. Now, let's end with what the research says about learner engagement and motivation. One thing that initially surprised me about the research in digital badges is that so far it's looking like smaller, less formal, or less standardized badges and systems have been shown to be overall better for learner engagement. However, the key word there is overall, since not all studies produce the same results. However, there seems to be more evidence leaning towards the idea that using digital badges to verify or support micro skills is generally better for learner motivation, and this is especially true in instances where the digital badges are part of optional or more informal learning programs that take place outside of school. Larger, more formalized, complex, or rigorous accomplishments or skill sets may do better if rewarded with traditional certifications. But there is evidence that you can use a combination of both badges and certifications when looking at ways to motivate learners, and this is something I'll talk about more in just a bit. Now, having all that said, there seems to be two schools of thought developing on this topic relating to how people choose to use digital badges. One argument is that the more official a digital badge is, the better it is for both learners and employers. If you want to make your badge more official, you can reach out to a company, organization, or a college to see if they would be willing to back your badge. You can also create a rubric to organize your badge creation process with a focus on quality objectives. Another argument is that really all badges are meaningful and that all badges tell a learner's story. Regardless of who created a digital badge, whether it was a certified company or Mrs. Smith, the 7th grade English teacher, all badges earned by a learner tell a story about that learner's interests. Similarly, for employers, all badges provide them with a clear picture of who the learner is. What are they about? What topics capture their interests? And how do they spend their time? For example, let's say I'm in charge of a school that serves a high population of English language learners and we have to hire a new teacher. Reviewing the portfolio of a teacher who I can confirm spent more of their time and energy dedicated to learning about how to support ELL students is going to be meaningful to me regardless of how official the issuer of that teacher's digital badges are, because it still shows me what this teacher cares about and who they are as a person. Now, we're going to move on quickly to covering a few best practices or tips for successful digital badge programs. The first tip relates to creating badge validity. One concern that learners often have about digital badges is that they are not sure if employers or their school really value them. However, research has revealed a couple of methods for addressing this concern with students. Learners should be informed that studies have shown that employers do value badges even when they are unsure of what the badge is or who the issuer is. Employers are more likely to respond to resumes with badges present than those without badges. Get your leadership team or an external agency to back a badge. Reaching out and forming a partnership with a local employer, organization, or a college to offer badges can improve the validity of the badges for learners, even if all the agency contributes to the badge is their name. Avoid childish looking badges or topics, unless, of course, you are working with young children. On that note, if you've never designed a digital badge before, don't worry. I created a short guide that will help you get started with designing your own digital badges using canva.com. I also include some tips for good design practice. Feel free to save this link to visit this playlist at another time. And finally, you might be wondering what the research says about collaborative badges versus badges that are geared towards independent learning. In this instance, collaborative refers to any digital badges in which the earners had to engage in some level of teamwork or interaction with others. Studies have shown that learners are generally more motivated in digital badging programs in which collaboration or the peer gaze was present in relation to earning or presenting their badges. However, there is also evidence to suggest that this does not work well for all learners, so it may be helpful to offer collaborative or social and independent options for badge assessments. Next up, we are going to cover 3 ways that you can use digital badges with students to effectively support their engagement and resilience in career pathways. The first is by using digital badges as a means of scaffolding your career pathways. Digital badges can be used to recognize learners at pivotal moments throughout the pathway, such as immediately following the completion of an introduction or concentrator course. And the badges can culminate into or prepare learners for larger certifications, such as a final certification that students can earn at the end of the CTE pathway. In this way, digital badges can be used to structure and motivate students throughout career pathways. As discussed previously, you can also integrate badges into your career pathway programs by curating a badge library for students. This is excellent if you want to offer more personalized learning options for students that better reflect their specific job interests and career plans. You might try collaborating with other educators to build the instructional modules for such a library. Badge libraries can be stored in a number of locations like Google Classroom or even Google Sites. And finally, you can integrate digital badges easily into project-based learning programs and into the development of career portfolios. Digital badges provide meaningful assessments and records of accomplishment in project-based learning and role-based learning programs. This is significant as PBL is often an important component of most CTE pathways, as they often rely on hands-on experience as a means of developing student skills. Digital badges also align well with the use of rubrics and provide students and teachers with meaningful evidence of learning that can be integrated with student portfolios. Digital badges generally integrate quite well into student portfolios because they can provide context to the work samples that students include in the portfolios. This may be particularly important when presenting a portfolio to a client who is not as familiar with the standards of the field. For instance, showcasing a video I created to a client looking to hire me for some videography work might impress them on its own, but digital badges can be used to provide context to the client regarding what was actually done to create the video and what skills I had to learn to design the video and put it together. And lastly, different students working on a project team may be able to earn unique badges based upon their unique roles or the different types of creative tasks they were responsible for their team. Examples might include creative director, videographer, master editor, and so forth. This is similar to how most job experience would be listed on a resume, and it provides another example where digital badges can be used to align with students' unique career interests. Now, before we move on, I'm going to cover a few more general use cases for digital badges. One reason you might want to incorporate digital badges into your next instructional pathway is that they support the rollout of both synchronous instructional options for learners, where learners can opt to come receive instruction in person, and asynchronous instructional options, where learners can opt to learn at their own pace in an online environment to earn the same badge. Digital badges can again lend themselves to supporting the choice and voice of your students. For example, I could create a handful of online training programs that might appeal to the unique career interests of each of my students, and then allow them the opportunity to choose which of the badge offerings they wish to earn. Studies show that when given more options in how to proceed with their education, learners tend to be more receptive to the material being taught. To earn digital badges in independent, asynchronous, or online courses, learners would need to review all the instructional material within a course before taking the final assessment at the end. To earn digital badges in group-based synchronous or in-person trainings, learners would skip through the instructional material in the course, which they received in real time, and proceed straight to the final assessment. This type of flexibility makes digital badges equally useful for both in-person instruction or hands-on labs, and also for integration with online or remote instruction. Most digital badging systems will offer methods for observing or downloading data on the digital badges that have been successfully earned by your students on their platform. This information can be helpful for showcasing the success of your career pathway or for making changes where necessary. Note that each digital badging platform will have different types of data that they allow users to access. So if being data-driven is important to you, you will want to research the platform you select before committing to it. On that note, in this last section, I will briefly talk about some of the digital badging platforms or technologies that are available to you to get started with creating your own digital badges to support your next career pathway for students. There are a wide variety of digital badging platforms out there, including Credly, Accredible, Nocti, Miss.mo, and Badger. So which one is right for you? One important consideration to take into account is the audience that these systems are best suited for. For example, systems like Badger and Nocti are better suited for K-12 students, whereas Miss.mo focuses specifically on training and professional development for educators. Credly and Accredible are flexible, commercial options that can be used for both K-12 students and adults. Nocti in particular is a nice and simple digital badging platform that is geared for CTE teachers and students. Now, for the sake of time, I will not be doing a demonstration of each of these different technology platforms today, but if you are interested in learning more about digital badging systems like Nocti or Miss.mo, please feel free to reach out to me following this session and I'll be happy to connect you with more resources. And that's all. I want to thank you all for attending my session today. If you are interested in earning a digital badge for attending today's session, you can visit this link to enroll in the Miss.mo Digital Badges for Career Pathways online course, and then just skip the instructional modules located in the course to take the mini quiz right at the end. Completing this quiz will automatically unlock this badge for you, and it will display it on your profile. It's free to create an account on Miss.mo and to earn badges for your profile. You can also use the notes you took during this session to help you with the mini quiz, and it does have unlimited retakes, so don't worry. You will also find all the materials and resources from today's session, including this presentation, stored in this badge course for easy access following this session. Also, if you would like to offer your own digital badges for your next training or professional development session, or maybe for your next conference presentation, Then you can enroll in and complete this online training module on Mist.mo to earn your Mist.mo Verified Trainer badge. Earning this badge automatically unlocks trainer privileges for you on the website, which means you will be able to upload your own training materials and badges. It's completely free and only takes about 1.5 to 2 hours to complete. On that note, I should mention that the Mist.mo platform is still in its beta phase. The platform is completely free, but it's undergoing preliminary testing right now, so if you come across any bugs, please let me know, and I'd be happy to work on them and get them fixed right away. And finally, if you have the time, I would really appreciate it if you could take this very short survey to let me know how you liked this session. It should only take about a minute and it will help me improve this presentation for future conferences. Also, if you are interested in occasionally receiving resources to help you with offering digital badges to K-12 students, college students, learners in career pathways, and teachers and faculty, please feel free to join my mailing list and choose which topic you would like to receive information about. Your information will be kept private and you can unsubscribe at any time. Thank you so much again for attending this session. If you would like to reach out to me with more questions about integrating digital badges into career pathways, are looking to get started with designing your own digital badges, or are looking for more information about specific digital badging platforms or technologies, please feel free to shoot me an email and I would be happy to help. Thank you.